seeking out the most tasty, the most exotic, the most extraordinary the world has to offer. Taste, Try, Travel dives deep into the ocean of judgment and presents incontestable, indisputable final thoughts. The 3x3.
I am interrupting our 3x3. Chris, I am sorry, but please make sure to put this at the beginning before we start talking. Once I got home, I realized there was two really important negatives about the Emerald Princess that I wanted to make sure you guys knew about. So that's why I am interrupting. This is very unprecedented, but I wanted to make sure you guys knew. So number one that I have is one of my negatives is, we talked a little bit about this, but the casual dining restaurants are very long. They took us at least 2 hours. So make sure you plan on that. They say casual, so it makes it sound like they might be casual and quick. But as of now, they are not. So please make sure you plan your evening accordingly so you can watch the production show or do whatever else you might want to do that night. The second negative that I had about the Emerald Princess, and I'm not an engineer, so I don't know why this was, but the aft of the ship, the whole back of the ship, shook a lot, and it seemed to do that as we were pulling out of port. So maybe like thrusters were on. I don't know exactly what it was, but you could physically, like, everything shook. We felt it in our cabin. We especially felt it when we were dining at Sabatini's. And even Chris can tell you, like, everything in the restaurant was like vibrating, and it made for a pretty uncomfortable experience. It was very strange. We had never come across that before in a ship. Maybe they're going to get it fixed. I don't know exactly what it was, but just be aware that there is quite a bit of that vibration towards the back of the ship. So those are just two things I wanted to mention. And before I get you back to our 3x3, we did promise to show you my scrap board really, that we collected little bits and pieces from all of our ports of call on this trip. So I want to go ahead and show you the finished piece. So this is going to be a really cool memory from this trip. We're going to go ahead and hang it on our wall, and I'm really happy how it turned out. So thank you so much for letting me interrupt. Now let's head back to the ship and finish our 3x3. Hello everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to Taste, Try, Travel. This is...
I'm Chris.
And I'm Beth. We got a lot to share with you today.
We are at the end of our
Yes.
week-long New England, Canada cruise on the
Emerald Princess.
Emerald Princess.
It's been a fantastic week. We stopped, I have to look at these because I still forget already. So we've stopped at Newport, Boston, Bar Harbor, St. John, which is the Bay of Fundy, and Halifax. This has been a port-intensive itinerary.
Which I'm not sure that I enjoyed quite as much as as spacing the ports out. So like there's been a port every single day.
We have been so busy, like this non-stop. And you know, you've seen a lot of our Caribbean cruises, and on there's usually like at least 2 sea days, but it's kind of broken up as they travel around. But because everyth's so close up here, nope, we only have 1 sea day, the very last day.
Yeah, so you're done in a port, you go have dinner, you do your show or whatever you're gonna do tonight, go to bed, and you gotta get up 5 o'clock in the morning because you're coming into the next port.
Yeah.
And it's every single day. So like I said, I don't know if that's my favorite itinerary for us.
And this is our first time ever really being up this way, so we wanted to get out and explore everything.
Exactly.
And so we probably made it harder on ourselves because of that.
We definitely made it harder trying to get out there and see all of these places that we haven't been to before.
Exactly.
So
we told you at the very beginning, 3 people in the cabin. Mom is with us, and 2 of us got the Premier package, 1 did not. So that was an interesting dynamic for this week.
It's so different on Princess than many other lines.
Yeah.
Because not everybody in the room has to have the package.
Exactly.
So 2 of us had it, 1 of us didn't. But that 3rd person was still able to take part in everything.
Yeah, and you'll see more of that if you watch the whole series. We'll also dig a little bit deeper into that when we go, when we do our video, Princess Plus packages. Is it worth it?
That's already come out.
So you already saw it. Careful, you're shaking.
Sorry, this is not the easiest table to film on. It might be a little shaky like this.
No. For the very first time, we're doing our 3x3 outside in the beautiful weather.
Yes. Look at what this beautiful weather has done to my hair. I'm sorry, it's hard to see it all the way over there, whether it's acceptable or not. But if it isn't, just tape over the top half of the screen of my head, and then you'll be able to watch the video.
All right, so always at the very end, this is going to be our review. We're each going to share 3 things we like, 3 things we didn't like.
Which is called what?
The 3x3. Bam.
Bang!
I wasn't with you. We need to try that again.
Bang!
Bang. Okay.
That's the part where we roll in that very expensive graphic.
That's right.
Took hours and millions of dollars to come up with.
As always, neither of us know each other's answers.
Yeah. It's a little windy out here. We are losing stuff as we speak.
So, as always, neither of us know any of the likes or dislikes. We don't talk about it at all during the cruise. We keep it all to ourselves, so we share it with you first.
And these likes and dislikes have to be specific to the ship.
Correct. Not this
particular cruise.
Yeah.
Because that wouldn't make any sense, and you're not on this particular cruise.
Right.
Here we go.
Okay.
That's the rules.
All right.
We always start with our dislikes because we want to get those out of the way, because really and truly, we're on a cruise and we love cruising, and it's difficult to come up with dislikes. So let's get those out of the way and move on to our likes.
Yes.
What's your number 1 dislike for the Emerald Princess?
It has to do with food. Sorry. That's what we like. It has to do with bacon. I'm sorry. That's important to me. There has been some intermittent issues with bacon on this cruise, and I don't know if it's Princess in general. Maybe a supply issue. I'm not sure. I apologize, any of you English. When you think of English bacon, that to me is like ham, so it doesn't really count as bacon.
You guys don't know. Bless your little hearts. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
But they seem to switch out, so one day the buffet will only have English bacon, and then other days it was good bacon, and other days there was none. So
you realize that there's like the English version of us doing a 3x3 somewhere, and they're like, sometimes they put out that American bacon.
I know.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Like this morning when we were, there was no bacon.
There was nothing. Yeah.
There was no bacon. There wasn't even. Well, they did have like the Canadian or English bacon on something,
right.
But like setting out, there was none. Right. So I see where bacon lovers would not be very happy about that.
Right. That's who I am. So
you're a bacon lover.
I know that's little. But it's like I said before, it's one of the things that I go on cruises. Like I love to enjoy the things I don't get as much at home. So
yeah, every time we get on a cruise, you're excited to reunite with bacon every day. All right, well, we're off to a rip-roaring start. Bacon. All right, my first one has to do with inside the room.
Okay.
And it's kind of a like and a dislike, but it's more of a dislike.
Okay.
So I'm including in my dislikes. So, Princess has, in their rooms, under their nightstands, they have automatic lights. So when they're triggered by movement. And also in the hallway by your bathroom, there's automatic light that's triggered by movement. Which, I think,
that was on my list too.
In the idea of it, it's a like.
Yeah.
In the reality of it, it's a dislike. I do not like it at all in reality.
Okay, I can see that.
Well, here's why.
Yeah.
So there's 3 of us in the room. So we have 2 single beds on the bottom and then 1 bunk bed. So the single beds are single size. So here's what happens in reality. I'm laying there and I turn over and my foot just 1 inch off the edge of the
Goes
bed. Lights come on.
Yeah.
And they stay on for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then they go back down. And then I turn over again. Lights come on. They come on like
They do
20
really
times a night.
It actually sometimes, sorry, I just bumped the table. Sometimes it would come if I moved my sheets a little bit on the top bunk. So.
And then if somebody gets up to use the restroom during the night, then those two come on, and then the light comes on by the bathroom, and then those two go off, and then the light goes off in the bathroom because the person's inside the bathroom. And then when they step back out in the bathroom, the light comes on again. It's right next to the bathroom, and then they walk back in, and those lights come on, and then the light goes off and then they go off. It's just like it's like a disco at night.
Yeah.
With the lights coming on and off.
Maybe they need to turn down the sensor a little bit.
If they just used a little bit dimmer lights, because I'm telling you,
It was pretty bright.
those things
It's pretty
come
bright.
on,
Yeah.
you're like, good morning. Very, very hard to sleep through with any consistency through the night with those things coming on and off, and who knows what was triggering it. And that is a dislike for sure.
Yeah,
for
because
me.
you didn't get much sleep this week because of that. So.
No, because of my second dislike too.
Oh, it might be my second dislike. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Actually, so my second dislike is there in the buffet, in the drink stations. Typical, what I'm used to from previous cruises, they're always throughout the day is at least lemonade and tea in the dispensers. So you could just pop over and get yourself a little drink. Everything, the fountains are off again. Every little drink station here on the buffet only has hot tea, coffee, and they're back again.
Fountains are having a tough time. I don't think they can hear it, so let's just keep going.
There's only coffee and tea available. There's a sign that says you can ask for lemonade, but sometimes they're not around. But it's just a little unusual. Like they've removed all of the machines, or maybe they've never had them on the ship.
I don't know.
This is the first time we've been on here. But I like to just go through and grab something to drink. I don't really want coffee or tea. Now I could order it. I could go to a bar and order it. But you know that nice, like easy, just hop up to the buffet and grab some so we can stay hydrated.
I just want a little juice.
I just want
a little lemonade.
Yeah. So I'm just curious if they ever had those machines or they chose to take them. I don't know. Now at breakfast, there's people walking around and they'll certainly get them for you, but you don't have that option to kind of to get those kind of on your own. So
No,
I was
just
kind of
tea
bummed
and
about
water.
that. Yeah.
Just tea and iced tea and water. That was your number
was my
two?
number two.
Okay. My number 2 dislike for the Emerald Princess has to do with the room and the sleeping situation.
Okay.
It is the mattresses in the room. Maybe it's just the single.
When the bed splits in single, maybe there's a topper that's taken off.
Yeah, maybe there's a topper that's taken off. But I'm telling you, those mattresses remind me of mattresses that I had in the 70s. Like that I slept on when I was a kid. They're like, you can feel the individual springs. Yeah. It literally was like, if I was 6, I'd want to jump around on that mattress because it's so springy. But when you're trying to sleep on it as an adult, there's no support really. Right. It's just where your body's lighter, it sticks way up. Where your body's heavier, it sticks way down because it's those individual crummy springs.
Yeah, that was kind of one of my kind of sub ones for the room. That those beds are just, it was rough. Definitely rough.
So.
And I was on the bunk, so I got like this mattress that was like this, and it wasn't. Yeah.
So
it's meant for kids.
Combine. I'm just gonna say a crummy mattress.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna hold punches with that mattress.
Yeah,
it was terrible.
Yeah.
It's
I
terrible.
have to agree with that one.
It was like a $20 mattress.
Yeah. So with that, plus the light situation.
Plus the lights or whatever's going on with those lights. We had a ghost in our room setting off the lights at night or something. I don't know. But every night was chaos trying to sleep.
Yeah.
I didn't know what part of me was going to be sticking up with that mattress. I didn't know when the lights were going to come on and turn off.
Right.
It was just too much going on for you to try to sleep in those rooms. So, listen, Princess.
Invest in
you got to do better than those mattresses.
Yeah.
Those were horrible. I'm just going to say it. The worst mattresses.
I can agree with you, yeah. That we've
had cruising, I would say ever. I mean, maybe way back when I started cruising, they were just as bad. I don't remember. But in the last 10 years, last 20 years, worst by far. Yes.
My turn.
You're
this is
number
my third.
2?
No, this is my
number
third.
3, because you started.
Dislike,
number 3 dislike for Emerald Princess.
Okay, so we got an opportunity to dine at all 3 casual restaurants. So that's the Gastropub, the Planks Barbecue, and the Steamers. Now, they don't advertise that it's quick at all, but those things took a long time. I mean, we were almost 2 hours in Planks for just like 3 courses. Steamers, we were just under 2 hours, and when we were at Gastropub, it was like an hour and 45 minutes. And so, like, it took a lot of time, and I think that if I would have known, I would have, I don't know what we would have done, but we got sometimes schedules we could do, we want to hit some different things, and we're just sitting there waiting forever. So I don't know if it's not staffed right, if maybe what they're doing in the kitchen is not, like, streamlined, but it was a struggle last night when we did Gastropub, because we were trying to do our bar crawl too, and we just like standing there, and the serving was a little chaotic too, so we never saw our server after the first couple minutes.
Well,
and then the other
another server come over,
yeah.
and then we saw him again about 45 minutes later. He came over again, so
I mean,
I don't know what was going on.
It's definitely good food, and I think it's a wonderful experience. I love barbecue. I love seafood. I like the Gastropub. I just wish didn't take so long, you know? Because I felt like, wasting time.
Yeah, because we filmed so much on a cruise, it really makes us like, it puts us in a pinch to get stuff done that we need to get stuff done so we can bring you guys some videos. But even if we weren't doing that, like, it's going to eat into your night and what you want to do during the night, because you're thinking an hour.
You can get in and out of the dining room in about an hour. That's about what we did,
2
the first
hours?
night.
I mean, you're going to miss your show. If you have a show planned, you're going to have to delay it to a later one. You're going to miss some entertainment. It's going to interfere with your night.
Yeah, so
with it taking that long.
Just be aware, like, it took a long time, and we're like, well, maybe that was just planks. And then we went to seafood, we're like, well, maybe that was just seafood. And then we went to the gastro, and we're like, okay, it's all of them.
It's all of them.
It's just all of them.
Okay,
your last one.
My last.
I'm trying not to look at your notes.
My last dislike for the Emerald Princess. All right, kind of has to do with the food also.
Okay.
The dining room food.
Mm-hmm. The main dining room?
Main dining room food. This is my face every time I tasted something in main dining room food. It's all right.
Okay, yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It was just, everything was just right in this area, right in here.
As far as flavors,
it wasn't terrible. It wasn't good.
Yeah.
It satisfied the act of eating.
I think I remember that from when last year when we were on Regal Princess. I think we felt the same way.
Yeah, it was just bland food. It was nothing spectacular. There was no, like, wow.
Right.
All of it.
Yeah.
Now, I am going to preface this also, or put a little asterisk next to it saying, our last cruise, if you haven't watched it, it's on the MSC Yacht Club.
It's hard to follow up on that.
It's hard to go from Yacht Club
it is.
to Princess Main Dining Room.
Right.
They're not even in the same ballpark.
Right.
So maybe I was hoping for a little bit more just coming off of that, where it was just a culinary experience. But I'm telling you, it seems like on most cruises, at least a few times, you have food and you're like, oh, this is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
This, literally everything was just,
this
this could use a little more something.
The main dining room, just more punch of flavor, I think, is what we were looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I wrote spicy, acidic, salty, and sweet. None of that existed.
Yeah.
And
I agree with
it's
that.
like they dumbed down the food. They're like, oh no, don't make that too spicy or sweet or too salty.
Yeah.
Or too acidic because people are going to complain.
Yeah.
They're going to send it back. So it seems like they dumbed it down and just were like, you know what, just make everything taste about like ketchup. And people will love it. But not me. I didn't like the dining room. Okay.
All right.
We have done our dislikes for the Emerald Princess.
Yes.
Now, what you've been waiting for, although you may have been waiting for the dislikes,
No.
the likes
Okay.
of the Emerald Princess, but
I have a couple I've got to figure out.
we need to pause the camera to change the battery. As always, our batteries only last about, I shouldn't give that away. They only last about 45 minutes. We really are not rambling on for 45 minutes.
No, we
That
won't
doesn't
make it
happen. There's not like 48 takes of everything. that isn't what we do. We're professionals. One take. Anyway, let's pause this while we change the battery.
It's getting a little chilly out here. Woo.
All right, we have freshened our makeup. We've done her hair.
What else have we done?
We've gone potty, but she won't.
I'm not going to demonstrate
She
that.
won't demonstrate. That is not appropriate for a 3x3. And now we
are ready.
On to the likes of the Emerald Princess. Who's going to go first? You're going to go first?
You get to go first.
All right. My first like. Once again, I say this in every 3x3, but I'm going to say it again real quick. It's not one of my likes because we can't say the crew. Because if we say the crew, it'll be our likes every single cruise.
I have something to say about the crew, though.
Well, that's fine. You can say something about the crew.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Crew, wonderful, always a like.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my first like for the Emerald Princess.
Class is on. Here we go.
I absolutely love the promenade deck on this cruise, on this ship, I mean.
Yes, you do.
It
Whenever
is
I
the-
can't find him, I know where he's at.
It is the old-fashioned teak wood
Yep.
decked. Our stuff is flying. Teak wood decked wrap around promenade. You can walk around the entire ship
Yep. Even
And-
through the very front, there's like a little walkway
Yep.
around. So
all the way around
Yeah.
it. Beautiful loungers.
well, they're chairs.
Well, they're like half loungers.
Okay, yeah.
You can recline, do whatever,
Yeah.
but there's no legs.
Leg, but
There's no
yeah.
leg section. I call them loungers.
Okay.
You can sit out. Today,
Yeah.
I was sitting out dolphins.
And he didn't have his
Dolphins.
camera with him.
The
I'm so
one
sad.
time I'm not carrying my camera.
Because he just wanted to disconnect for a little bit and enjoy. So that's why we don't have those to share for you.
Yes, I absolutely. It's what I cruise for. Is just enjoying the ocean.
And I think that's why we like these ships instead of maybe some of those older, some of the new, like Wonder of the
Yes.
Seas, when there isn't that spot where you can just soak in the ocean.
Right.
So we,
Wonder of the Seas,
like
if
that.
you remember that, just
Yeah.
real quick, everything kind of faced inward.
it was all about all the activities in.
They had one section that kind of was
It's a
around
jogging
it.
track. Yeah.
It was like the jogging track, and there were just like little openings every
Yeah.
once in a while where you could see
Yeah.
the ocean. So there wasn't where you could sit and look out and
Yeah.
enjoy the ocean. You had to like do that through some glass. You had to turn chairs around to look at the ocean.
Right, exactly.
I know. I think I mention it in every cruise how much I love sitting out, look at the ocean, and it's just true. It's just why I cruise. I want to be out there. I want to feel the ocean. I want to interact with the ocean. Hey, ocean, how you doing today? Okay, that was my first love.
I like that one.
On the
Exactly.
Emerald Princess. My first like. What's
Yeah.
your first like? On
My
the
first
Emerald
like
Princess?
is something we haven't found very often on cruise ships, and I'm really curious to find out why it's this way on Emerald Princess. They offer heavy cream for your coffee. We love coffee. Chris usually drinks heavy cream at home in his coffee. And most cruise lines, I think we were talking about Celebrity when they were doing that, because the crew thinks that anything is cream, right? Milk is cream, half and half is cream, heavy cream is cream. And so we got like, a lot of times we just get like milk, and if milk does not cut it in coffee. But every single time, like, we didn't even have to ask. We just asked for cream in our coffee, and they brought heavy cream.
Heavy cream.
And that was so nice. And one of the servers in the, I think it was the main dining room, when we asked for it, he said we don't always bring cream, because sometimes when people put it in their coffee, they think it's curdled. So I think I don't understand. But they still had plenty of it available. So did that even make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if you guys are like us and like half and half or cream in your coffee, here's the experience I think that you've had like us. Hey, can we get some cream for a coffee? And then the server, God bless them, they're trying. But they go back to the back, whatever's sitting out that looks white and kind of milky.
Yeah.
They put that in the carafe and bring it out and go, here's your cream. And then you look at it, you're like, this is skim milk, I think. And they're like, yeah, cream.
So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. That was a nice,
I was thinking about having that as one of my 3x3s, because that is so nice.
Especially on these kind of cold days when you want coffee.
Yeah, a little coffee, a little rich, the richness.
All right.
Coffee.
What do you have at number 2?
All right, my number 2, like, on the Emerald Princess. It's on, I think, every princess ship. So it'll apply to this Emerald, and it'll apply to every princess ship, I do believe. The International Cafe.
Oh, yes. I think it is on all of them.
Yeah.
In the Piazza? Yeah.
That is something that I would say it's almost a unique experience. And I like unique experiences on cruise lines. Like, you go on a particular cruise line, you find something that's really unique, and you're like, yeah, that's why I like that cruise. Right. International Cafe, it just feels like...
It's warm and homey almost.
Exactly. You go in there, you can get a cup of coffee, you can have some drip coffee if that's your thing. You can have a specialty coffee, an espresso, and then you get there's display cases. Oh, in the morning, you want a breakfast item or some pastries. Yeah. Or in the afternoon, you want some sandwiches or little snacks.
And it's all free, which is nice. You don't have to worry about this you have to pay for, this you have to pay for. So you can just, it's really
I would almost consider it an alternative to the buffet.
It could be, yeah.
Really, truly, because it's not just like coffee and like a pastry, or coffee and like 2 sandwiches. They have
a good amount of good variety.
10 different sandwiches that you can choose from. Yeah. You can have them warm, you can have them cold. They'll toast it for you. Yep. In the mornings they got burritos, they got sandwiches, they got quiches.
It's a good selection. Yeah.
They got baked goods. They always got cookies. How does that end up at the end of my...
They're yummy too.
Always have cookies. Yeah. You can ask for cookies. And you know what? They bake them right there.
They have the ovens right there, yeah.
Right there. Yeah. So they are always a little warm, a little gooey.
It is a great place. And there's a lot of times there's things going on right there in the Piazza. So, it's kind of like sometimes you get entertainment with your breakfast. And, I mean, it's just beautiful in there anyway. So it's a great little spot.
It will. Evidently, other people have figured out that the International Cafe
it's hard
is
to get
nice.
Seats, which is kind of a bummer sometimes.
It will get busy sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes, like, prime mid-morning.
Or when you get back from excursions, everyone's kind of getting back on board. It's like crammed.
Yeah, that's the
kind of a bummer
time.
Part of it, but that's because it's so yummy, I think.
But you know what? Just go stare at someone uncomfortably. They'll get up out of their table, and then you can sit down. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
My second like
for the Emerald Princess.
And what's funny is one on my list. I'm not going to really do much of it too, because I actually had the auto lights in the room, so I liked when they popped on. But I really understand what you're saying. I don't have a problem falling back to sleep, but he is a little bit more. But I was on the bunk, so it was just nice that as soon as I started moving, it lit up, so I could get down without falling.
You were the one.
I was the one who kept turning it on. But I know we weren't supposed to really kind of address the crew, but I think there's something a little bit different about the crew on the Emerald.
The crew? There's not a rule that says you can't say it as
I know.
a crew.
Well,
I just say
we
that
typically don't,
I would
you
put
know,
it as
yeah.
number one of my likes every single cruise,
Yeah.
so I don't include the crew.
But there was just something a little different. I felt on this particular ship. It seems like there's quite a lot of tenured crew. I'm not
Yes.
going to say old because not necessarily, you know, but like in the International Cafe, they were all. I don't want to say old because that's not really, but they were a little bit older, seasoned. And a lot of them, even in the buffet at breakfast, you typically see the younger crew kind of coming out.
The hip hoppers,
But there were these
the
older
tweeties,
guys.
the tweeters. Sorry.
Are you done? Some of these tenured, I mean, you could tell they loved what they did. And it was like a show they kind of put on
Yeah.
when they were in the buffet dining room clearing. And they were, I don't know, there was just something really special about them. They've been around a long time. They know what good service looks like. And and they also even organizing things to get off the ship. Everything seemed very well put together.
Well done.
They knew what they were doing. There wasn't a lot of chaos. It was easy to kind of get on and off. All that kind of blended. You could feel like these people have been around. I don't know, maybe they stay on these older ships for a long time or couldn't come back. But it's led to a very peaceful cruise because they're just in charge. They let us know what to do. Does that kind of make sense? I just noticed that a little bit more on this cruise.
Yes, I will. Yeah, I will back that up and say it just seems like they do everything just a little bit better.
We don't really necessarily get all those things on camera because when you have these unique experiences, sticking a camera in someone's face, can you do that again? It doesn't really work. So those authentic kind of connections.
We only show the crew if they want to be on.
Yeah.
We try not to show it if they don't want to be.
So you guys don't see it as much, but a lot of those authentic things were happening, and I came from those seasoned crew that they know what they're doing. What's your last like?
Golly, I'm already to my last like. I don't look at mine.
Well, it's too late. I already know mine anyway. What else you got?
The Salty Dog Gastropub.
Okay.
It is the opposite of the dining room food.
I can agree with that.
Dining room food, Salty Dog. It's like it doesn't even belong in the food in this ship. It was spectacularly good.
Well, you got the burger, the Salty Dog burger, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked really good.
They weren't afraid of anything on that. They weren't afraid. If it was spicy, it needs to be spicy. They made it spicy. Salty, they made it salty. Crispy, it was supposed to be crispy. They made it crispy.
Yeah.
It was all...
There were interesting flavors. There was creativity in there. It was really
exactly.
neat,
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
They thought about what they were... I mean, I'm not going to put down the head chef.
Right.
Because I'm sure he thinks about it, but
Yeah.
I'm positive that they are dumbing down the food for the main dining room.
Dining room. Could be, yeah.
But in the Salty Dog, it seems like there's not that thought process that goes into it.
It's been really good food there.
What can we do to make it a little bit better?
Yeah.
What can we do to make it a little more interesting?
Yeah. That cheese sauce with the little breadstick, when you get it, it was so delicious. I drank the cheese sauce afterwards.
Yeah, they had a soft. It said, all right. So one of the things they were had a crispy fried egg in it, and I thought, oh, they're gonna fry an egg, in a pan and put the bottom, make it crispy.
Yeah.
No,
Nope.
it was.
It's like a poached egg.
It was like a poached egg that was then breaded and fried. And what's neat about let me continue that example because it was on a salad with mushrooms, but the salad had a vinegar on it, a lemon juice vinegar on it, with no oil.
Right, so it was just the lemon.
So it was just pure acid.
Yeah.
When you cut that egg and the yolk came out, it blended with the vinegar that was in it, and it made this beautiful vinaigrette dressing for your salad.
Really good.
And it was so thoughtful and so delicious. And it really surprised me because
we weren't expecting, because
Right.
we had kind of been all week kind of, in the
Right.
dining room
I was not expecting that experience at
Yeah.
the Salty Dog Gastropuppet.
Yeah.
By far.
Right.
By far my favorite food on board.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, my last
your-
one. I'm surprised you didn't mention this, but we only have 3, so I get it. But
Yeah.
I'm going to mention the TV options of watching in the room. I know Chris is saying. Okay, so we always like to wind down when we get back in the room. So wind down will always have TV on, right? Princess has, I'm going to say, the best selection.
Yep.
Live TV, TV shows, there's like so many. Chris was like, I'm like, are you watching anything? It was like half an hour. You were like scrolling through all of them.
That's fine for something.
And we love that. I know, like, I'll say MSC does not have good at all.
No, nothing.
Carnival did not have good. You had to like pay for a bunch, and you don't have to rent. You don't have to pay for any of the movies that you
No,
can pick.
it's all
free.
and
I think that's awesome.
It may not be in the movie theaters right at the moment, but it was
some
about
newer, yeah.
it was about a month ago or
Yeah.
2 months ago.
Yeah.
So they're pretty much brand new movies. Well,
Yeah.
not all of them. They have a huge selection.
Huge selection.
A huge selection on there.
And so other cruise lines, we tend to be very limited. So we'll just put whatever on.
So-
We're actually able to watch some things that we like.
So let's say you love Cheers.
Yeah.
The TV show Cheers. And you're like, you know what? I wish I could watch every episode of Cheers while I was out on the ocean. You can do it on Princess.
We don't spend a huge amount of time in the room, but I appreciate that option. If you're not feeling good, you want to just take a little break, be in the room. There's
Or
always
just
something to watch.
turn something on while you're falling asleep. That's what
Yeah,
I
I think
enjoy
Princess
doing,
does that
so-
really. I think they do their entertainment good in the room.
They do. And
They have
I'm gonna.
big TV too.
Yeah, it doesn't really fit in our room. And I'm gonna just piggyback on it because I'm gonna mention it so that Princess sees this
Oh yes.
and
do you gotta
continues
say?
to do it because not every cruise line does it. They have movies under the stars.
They literally have movies under the stars. They don't
Yes.
just say it. Yeah.
Exactly. It's movies during the day. It's movies at night. Sit out there, enjoy a movie.
Right.
You can hear the ocean.
Right.
You
And they
know,
do it, and it doesn't matter what the weather is. It was
It doesn't.
cold.
It was
It was
cold.
cold. People just wrapped up in blankets that they provided and still had fun outside.
Yes, you people that did that rock.
Yes. So that was really nice. I do like that.
Yeah, their entertainment choices for like movies and stuff like that on the ship is.
Was that it? We did our 3 good? Our 3 bad? I think so.
What about our 3 mediocre?
We don't have 3
3
mediocre.
by 3 by 3.
No, we're not going to do
Oh.
I think that will wrap up. This wraps up our entire week.
Oh,
You're on
don't
board.
say that.
I know it's always sad when you get the little luggage tags that they send you, but we've had a fantastic time.
Yes.
We hope you guys have enjoyed us kind of showing you the Premier package and the Plus package and kind of seeing how you can kind of just kind of up your experience a little bit. Just
You
up.
can triple T it.
Triple T your experience a little
I don't
bit.
know if that'll stick.
We don't know. We're trying to
I don't know
find a
if
word, but
Yeah. How do you make it just a little bit better?
a little bit better.
little bit
Yeah.
better.
So we hope we've kind of showed you. Please make sure to comment if
Yeah.
you agree or disagree with what we've just said, or if you have anything else that adds that you really enjoy about the Emerald Princess or just Princess in general. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Hope you've subscribed. We have another adventure coming in a little while. We're not going to share that yet. You have anything else to say?
As of this taping, we're not exactly sure what our next adventure is.
But there will
by the
be
time
one.
this comes out,
We will have
we
one.
will know it. And I'm hoping it's one I have in mind. Golly.
For now, we're just going to say goodbye. Ignore your hair. Things
I am
else.
so sorry for my hair.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.